Hi, everyone, and welcome to Set Free episode 8. This is part of the second half of season 1, and I'm very excited today that I have got the SIBS Jolie, better known as Sibonikosi Hove by those who've known her for a while now. And she is a young up-and-coming woman that is to watch, guys. And that's why I specifically invited her to come to this show, because I feel like her story has to be said. So today we're going to be talking about leadership undefined by background. You are the master of your dreams. And I was thinking, and I was like, who better to who's very relatable to talk about this than Sibo, because she's at a stage where it's much more relatable rather than me looking for this big shot guy who's got 20 years having made it. But it's always good to always hear the stories of those that are like 2 steps in it or 5 steps or whatever. I think that those stories need to be heard. So welcome, Sibo, to Set Free.
Thanks, Wawa. Hello, guys. I'm excited to be here, and well, it's gonna be a great show.
Yes. Disclaimer, guys. We are in different countries, so there's a delay on video and audio, and sometimes you'll find that some of our video is going to be a bit static, so just bear with us. It's beyond our control, but the content that is going to be on this video is very great, and I think that is going to be exciting, so just please bear with us. So without further ado, the first thing that we want to know, and probably people just want to know, is who is Sibonikosi Hove? Let's talk to us about your origin, your family, your education, career. We just want to know, like, who are you?
Wow, okay, that's a lot to talk about, but I'm the last born in a family of 19 children, so wow. You can imagine how many people had gone ahead of me in life. And being a last born, I think a lot of people think that we are spoiled and we just have it all together. So we're not ambitious to do anything, really. But I just never wanted to be like any one of my siblings. I just wanted to be my own person. So I was born in Berengwa, small mining town in Zimbabwe. And just being born in that kind of a setup, in that kind of a family, I just got to be aware of my culture from a very young age. So I'm very proudly, African, and I know the values of Ubuntu and, just being a people that live together in harmony. Yeah. So, okay, education. Yeah. Education. I hold a Bachelor of Business Studies in Marketing from Africa University in Mutare, Zimbabwe again. And currently I am in marketing. I do brand management for one of the leading corporates in Zimbabwe, Cassava Smartech. But I've been working in marketing for the past 5 years. So I'm a model and a marketer. Yeah.
Wow. You're really doing a lot, and that's the reason why I said, what, I think I need to share your story. And you are a person who's passionate about leadership. Could you say you always felt that you were born to lead?
Oh my goodness, no. Never. In fact, I was never a class monitor, a group leader, or anything like that. But I used to wonder why I was never nominated for such leadership roles. So it's something that I then got to learn as I was growing. So I must say that leadership was introduced to me when I went to A-level. I would just be nominated. I became an Interact Club president. I just had no idea I had it in me to lead, because like in my past life in junior school, I had never been a leader. So coincidentally as well, I was fortunate at that time at church. We were going through leadership development courses, life planning, strategic life planning. I had never heard something like that. When you go to school, it's just all about books. When you grow up, you're going to be something. No one teaches you. So then leadership starts with you. Knowing who you are and where you want to go in life and things like that. So at that point, we had a personality assessment test. They had a disc measurement of, your personality. And I was high on I, which is influence, and S, steadiness. So what that then said about me is that I'm very influential. I easily connect with people. I can inspire, right? But then I was steady. Like I said, I'd never been a leader, so I was just steady. My goal in life had always been, world peace. I just want to live my quiet life. But you see, that's when they said, when you have, a combination of these two personalities, you have to grow into leadership, because the world needs a lot of, people that have empathy, leaders that are not just looking out for themselves, but that have a heart for people. So that's how I then, by, I guess, default, began to grow my leadership journey. Yeah.
Okay, and just going back where you mentioned that, you grew up, or you were born in Berenga, which is a small mining town in Shishawani, and, then you found yourself at one of the leading institutions in the country, which is Africa University, where I happened to then know you and get acquainted to you. And you also leadership roles there as well, if my memory serves me well, with other people. Did at any point, was there a time where you felt like you didn't belong?
I always never belonged to any place I was, literally. I felt there was something about me, something I wanted to do, but people never really used to understand. Like you're saying, I was born in Berengwa, a small mining town. Just throughout my journey, I went to different schools, by the way. And in class, I was always the youngest. So I just never felt I was fitting in the environments that I was in. There was always something peculiar about me, something I was searching for. Like telling my family that I want to be a model, for example, it was just unthinkable, because no one had ever done it. So I just never thought I was fitting. I always was searching for my own space, to be my own person. So then going all the way to Africa University, for me, I felt I belonged there. Just the mantra of the school is the dream is alive. I felt like my dream was going to be activated, because I was in a place of building dreams, and they're not defined by background. So that's the place where I felt I didn't have to have different personalities between my class life, my family life, and my church life, So I was perfectly at home, literally, at Africa University. Yeah.
Wow. So, okay. And speaking at that time where you were at Africa University, you took part in the 26th edition of Miss World Universities. To be honest, I didn't even know that there was that pageant even existed. Like that's the honest truth. I didn't even know that there was a Miss World Universities, and you ended up a title like of your own. Tell us about your experience and what it is that you were recognized for standing out there representing Zimbabwe.
Well, I also never knew that the pageant existed, hey? So when I started my school at Africa University, the first thing I was nominated for was Miss Earth Manicaland. And then I just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I was nominated by the SIBS Club, Students in Free Enterprise. And I went and I just became Miss Earth Manicaland during my first year of university. Then the next thing I did, Miss Africa University. So I was beginning to shape up my career in modeling. Like I used to just like modeling ever since I was small. So this was just now me going into the space, but I never liked some of the pageants that were around. I didn't see the purpose in them. So when I joined Miss Africa University, then I went to Miss University Zimbabwe. And then from there, that's how I was then nominated to go to World Miss University. So the purpose then for the pageant was now just giving a platform for intelligent women who are pursuing something to then, add value to their society, to add value to the community. So when I went for that pageant, it was a very tough competition for me, but I dreamed I wanted to just do the best. I remember from Miss Ed, I was like, you know what? There are no limits to what I can become. I will go as far as I dare to dream. So I then prepared myself for world stage. I'm thinking, if this is a pageant that is going to have girls coming from America, from the UK, what is in their minds? You know, they come from first world country. Are they thinking that they're going to try out something, or they know who they are and they want to show the world what they can give? So when I prepared for my journey, I had a winning mentality in mind. I was just thinking, I am going to be number one. I know I just became number two, but my goal was to be number one in the world. And I wanted to do that to send a message to myself, firstly, to believe that my background doesn't really determine the height of, you know, where I can go, but also to other fellow Africans. Because I think, you know, because we are often told we are coming from a third world country, the assumption is that we're lazy, we're poor, we're uneducated, you know, we're not competitive. But when I got there, they could feel my presence from the first night. They knew there was a Miss Zimbabwe in the room. Literally, there was a Miss Zimbabwe in the room. And even when we did our catwalk and everything, we had a fashion show, a lot of things I had to do that were very intellectual, because we had to prepare
and new to you as well,
what you would do for world. You see, you see. So I was prepared to show the world what I was able to do. And from the very first night, they had to nominate who would perform on the final night, like to do your talents. So I remember featuring a story about war, because it's about world peace and miseries. And you know how Africa, we know about wars a lot. And my piece was about the, you know, the plight of a woman who is living in an impoverished country and there's war, and they are dreaming about a time when there's not going to be war. So it was very relevant at the time. So I was just determined to go to the top. So I guess,
Well, I remember that you really did us proud. I mean, it was such an unexpected thing that upon your winning, that's when the country knew that this pageant actually existed. And fast forward to that, after you had done that, you started a project, the Picture It project. It started as a talk show. That's how I started first knowing it, about it. Maybe, you know, for me, it was a very revolutionary show, and I used to watch it online. I was one of your viewers. So what were some of the greatest lessons that you've learned from being a host on Picture It and founder as well?
Okay, so I would say, you know, the greatest lesson I had was that people are willing to share the knowledge they have. I think we live in a community where we are transitioning from, you know, women, in terms of the women's circles, there's the pull her down syndrome, where people think that women don't want to see another woman succeeding. So my very first guests on the show were Chingi Mambondiani. She's a renowned, experienced woman in banking, and she's the wife to Dr. Lance Mambondiani. And Cynthia Kutambi was also very strong in women leadership. She's a writer and all of that. So just having those strong women together in a room showed me how much zeal and power women have, and how much they are willing to give inspiration to other people. So from hosting them, I then went on to host other people like Mr. Charles Msiba, who's the managing director of Schweppes Holdings Africa Limited. And what I felt was that from you know, just hosting these great minds, was that there's a willingness to pass on what they have to the next generation. You know, the Bible says we rise by standing on the shoulders, right, of those that have gone beyond us. So because we have been so much behind, there's really need for us to catch up and to step on the shoulders of the people that have gone ahead of us. So there's so many people that are willing to mentor young people and to really just make sure that, you know, we cut the journey short. We don't have to make the mistakes that they made, so that we are better equipped to solve the problems that we're facing now and to take our content forward. Yeah.
Wow, because that was really revolutionary, because we focused on people's whose stories we had not even heard before as well, but who are in very prominent positions in Zimbabwe. And in your journey as well, you've become an advocate as well for breast cancer awareness. You have your story regarding, that. Why at such a young age did you think that it was important for your peers as well to be, aware about breast cancer awareness? Maybe share your story with us.
Okay, so this is what happened to me on holiday after first year. I just felt a lump in my breast, and I spoke to my sister. I said, I feel something. And she said, oh, yeah, there's something. But we were all ignorant. Well, in all honesty, I knew nothing about cancer, whether it's an infection or, it's something that grows in your body. I was just ignorant about it. And I just went back to uni. I didn't want to miss my classes. And then in October, there was breast cancer awareness. And I thought, I have that thing. Because they said one of the symptoms is you have a lump, right? And then I eventually reached out to the doctor. And the doctor said, oh, yeah, there's something. They did a test, and he said it was a fibroadenoma. So here I am, an educated person. Well, I'm in university, but I really know nothing about cancer and things like that. So eventually I had to have an emergency surgery done in South Africa, and the journey wasn't easy, I must say. I was really frustrated just going to the hospital every morning, and I was seeing people that were older than me, people in their 60s getting treatment, and men were there, women were there. So I then realized how many more girls could experience breast lumps at my age and have no idea what to do, you see. So since then, I then began to realize, we need to prioritize our health. I was following my career, education and all, so my health wasn't really something that I was worried about. I'd never been sick as a child, so I thought I was perfect. Then I realized, there's need for us to raise more awareness on health issues, especially about abnormal growths, because these are things that just happen. You don't cause it to happen. It's not something that is influenced by something that you take in or your behavior, So since then, I then realized we have to talk more. And because of me speaking out, I've seen a lot of people just coming through to me to find out, what do I do? I'm experiencing this, and you'll be surprised how many girls have breast lumps. And you will also be surprised how many young people actually suffer from cancer. It might not be breast cancer, but young people do suffer from cancer. So something that's not a joke, it's affecting people, and we just need to be knowledgeable. Yeah, so that's why I talk about it.
Wow. And I think it's a important topic, because when we were young as well, like much younger, I'm young, but but we always used to think that, it's something that only affects people who are grown, and as well affect men, but men also do get affected by this as well. So I think it's a very great cause that you are bringing awareness to, and you're bringing it from an angle. Young people have to be involved in it, and not just think that it's something that is meant for people who are much older, and I really admire that, because there are very few young people who talk about it. If they're talking about cancer, they're just talking about other cancers that they've gone through, but not specifically breast cancer being discussed with younger people. So just hearing your story, or just seeing who you are now, when people look at you from the outside, they think that it's just mere luck, or you're just fortunate. And so I just want to know that for you to achieve or continue to try and achieve what you're trying to achieve, go after your dreams and all of that, what standard do you hold yourself to that makes you realize your dreams? What's that standard that you hold yourself to say, this is the driving standard?
So I think when I spoke earlier, I spoke about just strategic life planning, something that we were taught at church. I've always been going to church, but I just never got to know that there's a deeper purpose for every person. As much as you were born to your family, you have gone through life the way you've experienced it, there's a greater calling, there's a greater purpose for every person. So for me, the standard is God has a plan for my life. And the more I get to learn about the Bible, that's when you realize that, oh, okay, this thing is actually big. It's a really big deal. When you start then learning about, you know, the Bible, and I never owned a Bible until I was like upper six. And then I started reading it page by page because I was so curious. I wanted to know who I was and what my purpose in life is. So because of that, now I'm not intimidated by things happening around me. I'm not moved. I'm not scared, because I now know that, you know, the Bible contains the truth about who I am and where I ought to go in life. And even the opportunities that I want to propel me to my next level are all in the Bible. It's a promise that's there. If you're walking in something that you are destined to do, it will flow. Like like when I did modeling, I had never trained professionally for it, right? But because there was a gift inside of me, I got to learn about it and I believed in myself. I then just walked in it and I could do it. So it's an issue of, you know, having that awareness of who you are. Firstly, it's self-awareness. When you know who you are, and then awareness of what your purpose and what your calling is in life. You might be a great, talented poet, but just never know it. And you will live a mediocre life because you are not aware. So awareness is the very first, most important thing that then just guides what you then are able to achieve in life. Yeah.
Wow. So just tell me, if you were to be granted just one wish upon your life, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. One wish, it is to meet Oprah. Yeah, I want to meet her. Yes, that's the one. That's the one wish. I want to meet Oprah. I just want to, have a conversation with her somehow. Just because she's got this stubbornness that she had, you know, to just dare to just step out in a community where no person of color was on screen. So I want that kind of, you know, vibe. Because I haven't gone to the best places, you know. As much as we're growing, we are still feeling inferior. We're still laid back about the things that we want to do. We're still doubting ourselves. It's like, oh, I'm trying to do this. I just want that push, that boldness.
Very much so. I mean, I think it's a great choice of who you would want to, you know, to meet. And what about if you to be granted one wish, you know, upon the nation of Zimbabwe? Like, what would it be that you would wish for?
I'm tired of being a country of potential, you know, of people who are resilient, of being people that are hardworking. We're very intellectual, you know. We have so much zeal and strength, but we are not seeing ourselves flourishing. My wish would be for Zimbabwe to get into a season where, you know, we are doing the things that we're supposed to be doing as a country, where young people have access to opportunities. I think for me, the biggest deprivation for us as a nation is just that access to stretching ourselves to our full potential. If we could get our economy going, you know, properly, and not be anxious about tomorrow. I think a lot of people, we're thinking, do I want to stay in Zimbabwe? Do I want to leave? And nobody wants to really leave and go out there really just for the sake of living. People want to be home and create legacies and create a great life for themselves. So for me, it would be if we can have an economy that works. Really, that's what I want for this country. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope we will also live to see the day, because for sure, like you're saying, like it's a country that is full of potential with intelligent people who are very resilient. And I do wish that one day the best would happen. And one to the youths out there, you know, facing difficulties and living in living the life that they are living, and yet they want to realize dreams. What do you have to say to them, the youths in Zimbabwe right now?
I would like to say that nothing is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. Nothing. You are not entitled to anything. Whatever it is that you want in life, you have to go for it. I have a mantra that says I can do anything I want. I can become anything I want if I have the right attitude, if I exert the required effort, if I position myself in the right places. So there's definitely something that you can do to propel yourself towards what you want to become. I mean, there's every reason why you can't fail. Even in the first world countries that we are admiring and we think that people have it all together, they're worried about a lot of things. People are losing jobs right now. We're in the middle of the pandemic, right? So no one has it easy. Even if you think, oh, well, they have it better out there in other parts of the world, I don't think people really have it easy as we like to think. So you just have to push yourself. You have to work hard. Nothing substitutes hard work, and you have to connect with the right people, right minds. I think you should just always be a person who is hungry to just give what you have. One thing that I understand about opportunities is that they're not always going to come with the end. You start from somewhere. You start from where you are. If you have a bit of skill, start by using the skills that you have. Go and volunteer somewhere. You don't start with where you want to be. You start where you are. So I think that's just my advice. I'm also telling this to myself. Whatever I want to do, whatever I want to become, I have to start where I am. There's never going to be an ideal time to start the business. There's never going to be an ideal time to start your career, be it in music, be it in crafts. There's never going to be an ideal time to start. But you have to start where you are. And you have to admit, I think our generation is this seek wisdom and ask for guidance. At times, just you going to volunteer at someone who you think you want to mentor, you go and volunteer and just learn the ropes, and then you will become something, by just learning. So that's just my encouragement. And just believe. I think it all goes down to dreams, hey? Everything that I've achieved, I dreamed. Everything that I've achieved, I dreamed. I would say I want to become this. I learned it when I was at church and I was a teenager as well. They started teaching us about believing in yourself and then having dreams. So you have to have a dream as well. If you have a dream, it's good enough. Nothing can stop you. If you just have, a dream is just good enough. It will just motivate you to keep doing and pursuing what you believe you're called to do.
Yeah. Wow, you've been an awesome guest, SIBS Jolie, and I really enjoyed the chat that we had, getting to know you, more, and getting, people to learn your stories. That to say that for sure, leadership is undefined by background, because people who see you at value where you are now, the SIBS Jolie, the brand, people are thinking that you've just been fortunate. You probably, born in some mansion in the burbs there and all of that. So your story, I think, is quite inspiring, because and you are one of the people I'm really excited to see as they bloom and pursue their dreams, because I believe that you are going to go far. I can see that, and I can see the potential. You're going to be a person to watch. And I'm going to be saying one day, I was so privileged that I actually spoke to this woman, when she was actually young and she was on my show. And I thank you so much for also making time to be on this show and, just agreeing as well to my invitation to feature you on the show. It has been amazing to talk to you.
I wish we had even more time. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone. This is just me adding my piece to the whole puzzle. We have so much to add to each other. So I'm also honored, hey, to be on your show. I'm used to hosting. So me being interviewed is just different.
Yeah. So
and there are no limits to what you're going to do to you.
Yeah, thanks, man. So guys, I'm going to leave some links below to SIBS Jolie's pages of the brand so that you can follow the work that she's doing and just follow her amazing journey. You can also see more, you know, if you go to some old posts of everything that we're talking about to now. There's social proof of all of that, where she has done amazing things. Like we couldn't even, I couldn't even talk about all of it. You know, this woman was fortunate enough as well to, you know, to do her internship in Germany and all of that, you know, and yeah, she's just an amazing woman. And guys, please subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and invite your friends to see great episodes that we've been doing. And this is episode 8. There are 2 more episodes to come until we knock off the season for the year. And thank you so much to everyone who is watching. See you next time.